Welcome back, everybody, to Commentary Gamer, your one-stop shop for gaming news and soon-to-be gaming reviews as well. Working on some stuff, and we'll get that out to you as soon as possible. But today, we are here with Shaq News, and talking about the Bayonetta 3 boycott drama. We have another update. If you'll remember, we had Helena Taylor calling for a boycott of Bayonetta 3. She claimed that they were going to offer her $4,000 for the entirety of the voice work on Bayonetta 3. We had the assistant director of the piece saying that they were lies. He didn't directly call out Helena Taylor, but he did mention that there were lies about what was going on. Yesterday we had Jennifer Hale's statement, or 2 days ago, Jennifer Hale's statement in response to the Bayonetta 3 boycott call, and wherein she talked about all the people that were working on the piece and how the boycott would affect them. And today we have a new update, and it's pretty shocking. It's not something that I thought was going to come out. I would prefer, it's still very much he said, she said at this point. I would prefer to see some like actual recordings or some paperwork, some contracts, maybe the original NDA that that she was signing or that she broke to talk about the boycott. But I would love to see some kind of actual proof, because right now we've got just accounts of what happened and nothing actually concrete. But this update is pretty spicy. We've got here on Shaq News, this is their original article, but they've updated. So this is where the original story was. This is the update with Jennifer Hale's statement, and now this is today's update. Or yes, what day is today? The 19th. So yesterday's update. We've got, this is wild. It says several sources familiar with the negotiations that took place between Helena Taylor and Platinum Games have shared differing accounts of what was offered from Taylor's originally alleged $4,000 for the entirety of voice work on Bayonetta 3. Now, if you'll remember the video that I did 2 days ago, we went into a little bit into, not some deep dive, but we went into what voice actors generally would get paid and how long a script like this would be. And towards the end of that video, I did say that $4,000 for the entirety of the piece is extremely low, when there's a good chance that she could make potentially $12,000 for all of her work. It turns out that they were offering her more than that, which is wild to me. So it says, according to reports at Bloomberg, Platinum Games supposedly offered around $3,000 to $4,000 per session across 5 intended recording sessions, would have made for at least $15,000 altogether. So potentially between $15,000 and $20,000 she could have made off of this game, is what Platinum Games is saying actually happened. And again, this is still very much he said, she said. I'd love to see paperwork. I'd love to see the receipts. I'd love to see what the NDA said. You know what I mean? If she supposedly broke the NDA to talk about it, I would love to see what the NDA looked like. It says Taylor apparently balked at the offer, countering with demands of undisclosed six-figure amounts and residuals on the game. Platinum apparently declined, and after further negotiations failed, took auditions for a new actor. Nonetheless, Platinum still supposedly offered Taylor a cameo on the game for one session's pay, which again would have been about $3,000 to $4,000. So she could have still not worked on the piece if she wasn't going to get that six-figure money that she was asking for, supposedly was asking for, according to Platinum. But still could have walked away with a cool $3,000 for one session, which would have been nice. And then it says that Taylor turned it down, which is wild to me. And this is this is very much different from what she said. So, and this is the reason why I'd like to see some actual contracts or get some recording, because she used very specific words. She said that it was $4,000 for the entirety of the game. And that's very different from $4,000 a session. That's not necessarily a misspeak, you know, and I'm not calling her a liar. I'm saying that I'd like to see proof that they offered her $4,000 for the entirety of the game, because this is wild to me. I'm just saying I'd like to see proof that they offered her $4,000 for the entirety of the game, because that's a wild accusation. That's beyond. And everybody was pretty much in agreement. That is considerably low for what you're, the type of game, the type of work that goes into it. It's significantly low for what someone like Helena Taylor is potentially able to bring in as the titular character of a popular video game series. It goes on to say, Taylor remains adamant about the accuracy of her side in the story. In emails with Bloomberg, Taylor reportedly described Platinum Games' story as an absolute lie and claimed the developer is trying to save their ass and their game. I mean, no lie there. I mean, who's going to sit back and, who's going to kick back a week away from release and say and do nothing? So, yeah, whether they're lying, whether they're not lying, like I said yesterday, a lot of the statements coming out seems like they're just trying to put out fires as fast as they can because the release is right around the corner. This couldn't have happened at a worse time. So it says Taylor also apparently stressed that she's fed up with the situation, wants to put the Bayonetta franchise behind her to focus on her work in theater. This statement is wild to me. That statement right there is wild to me. So if we just compile all of this, right? She claims she got offered $4,000 for the entire game. Platinum Games says that's not true. Platinum Games says that they offered her potentially $15,000 to $20,000 for the entirety of the game. That is decent money. It's decent money. Do some VAs make more than that? Yes. Do some, like, I'm assuming, you know what I mean, voice actors who do Sonic, or I'm assuming they make more money. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain characters that just bring in more revenue. Some developers can just afford to hire more expensive VAs. But that's not a bad number. $20,000, $15,000 for that amount of work is more than what I had thought it was going to be. And that's just what I had thought it was going to be just by the numbers of what generally gets paid out to VAs. So we got that. We've got this report. And now this statement is... This part of the statement's wild to me. She's fed up with the situation and wants to put the Bayonetta franchise behind her to focus on her work in theater. She auditioned for the Bayonetta franchise, just like Jennifer Hale auditioned for the Bayonetta franchise. She didn't have to audition for the Bayonetta franchise. She wanted to come back. And according to her, she came back to a bad number. Now, she wants to put the Bayonetta franchise behind her. All she had to do was say no. All she had to do was not come in and do the lines. This statement is kind of a big slap in the face to people who are backing her. And I don't understand why. This doesn't help the credibility of her original complaint. Because this sounds like she was trying to make this giant stink about it, make off with bank, and get to the theater. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not calling her a liar. I'm not saying she's 100% right or telling the truth 100% of the time. I'm saying I'd like to see the receipts. And until we get these receipts, it's still he said, she said. But I don't doubt that more news is going to come out about this, because this is still a very hot topic. And Twitter is just blasting Helena Taylor right now. I'm sure it's probably gotten worse after this article came out. But what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments. Do you still support Helena Taylor? And do you believe her account of the story? Do you believe Platinum Games? I don't have any doubt that a big company is going to try to cover their ass all the time. But this would be very easily solved with a copy of a contract going live. And I wish one of those two parties would do it. But yeah, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. You still side with Taylor? You think she's lying, or whatever? Let me know. If you like the video, like the video. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. We're going to be coming out with game reviews. I'm working on a few, and they're admittedly more complex than these, because I don't want it to seem off the cuff. This is kind of off the cuff. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next one.